What's good, YouTube? So on today's video we're gonna be installing a hardcover on this Jeep Gladiator bed. It's the one of the cheapest ones I found on Amazon. We got a trip coming up and I kind of need a cover for the luggage, and hopefully it's pretty easy to install. So we'll find out shortly. Let me get this open. Comes with a little LED light, but my bed has a LED light already. Some instructions, it looks like. It seems like it's pretty well protected. The packaging seems pretty good. Let's get these open. I feel like that's the way it goes. So I'm just doing a quick test fit. It's a little windy out today. Let's close this up. That's the brand right there. I think it was only around $300. Have to go back and check. But that's the fitment right there. Decent quality, it seems like. The only thing is I dislike this cushion will easily go bad. It'll dry out here in the Arizona heat. But other than that, close this way. Sponge. I wish it was like this type of rubber all throughout, but it has these little sponges. It's just they'll eventually dry out with the how hot it gets here. But let's get it cleaned up, and that way we can install this seal right here. And then I have my water and soap to clean that spot. Do a quick measurement and cut your piece. So I did a rough estimate. It's about this long. We'll cut it right there. Either I can put it closer to this side or closer to the front. I think I'm gonna do closer to the rear. Just pressing it down so it gets a good stick on there. Let's get it. make sure it's even throughout both sides. So it has these little rubbers where it hooks on. So I guess it could come back a little bit. So I imagine these are just protectors so it doesn't crush it, but these lock on here. Probably has to come back just a bit. So I'm just gonna play with it till I find the spot that I like. I think it's just gonna still needs to come back just a little bit, and we should be okay to start mounting. I unfolded it, and I don't think I'm gonna pull it back anymore. I'm gonna leave it where it's at because this round part is right at the round where this stuff's rounding out. And if I was to pull it back a little bit, then this is gonna come out of here. So I think this is gonna be the spot where it stays. And now let's get ready to clamp it down. Before we clamp it down, let me show you. This was in the box, free floating. So I don't know if it fell from one of the covers. But you got your accessories. Let's see what's in here. Spare parts. Mostly all plastic in case something breaks. I imagine these are the clamps that hold it down. Plastic clamps. Got about 4 handles, and then I think these are the ones that go in the front. And then they have this one as well, but this one says track system. Mine doesn't, my Gladiator doesn't have the track system. And I did see, like, on the instructions, it tells you about the track system. I'm not sure if this cover is compatible with other smaller trucks like the Frontier, because it gives you the instructions, Frontier, Toyota, and Gladiator. But I don't know if it's just for the brackets and they just send you the brackets for all of them, because it is quite a few brackets in there that I saw. But they're no use for me unless I was to upgrade to a track system. But these are like the brackets it comes with. So we'll keep those where they are. And then let's see the instructions. On some of the reviews on Amazon, some people said the instructions weren't that great, but I feel like it's pretty straightforward. I've never actually installed one in the past, but it doesn't seem too hard. So let's climb back on here. Let me open up the bed once again. Now let's climb on there. Alright, so we're gonna get the first one closest to the cab installed first. And what you're gonna need is this clamp, one of these, and one of these. I'm using the bubble wrap as padding so I can lay down here underneath it. So this one's the first one we're gonna install. I imagine this is here to pick where you want to start your clamp at. And this clamp, it has to clamp here like this. So we'll stick this on there, get it, I guess as close as we can get it to there. So I'm gonna put it like that and leave this opening there. Wait a minute. Since there's plastic, this clamp is gonna have to be on there pretty tight so it holds on to the actual metal that's on there. So here's when you're grabbing onto. I don't think I'm gonna like that, so I'm gonna trim this plastic here. You don't have to, you can try and do it. I think it will still grab on, but I don't want it moving around to where it doesn't grab the lip, the metal lip. There's a metal lip on there. So let me trim that up and I'll be right back. So this is what the cut's gonna look like. You can use a little razor blade, it's just plastic. I use these. No clue where I found them. They're already giving out. But they have been put to work. They're some of the best ones I've owned. These type of snips. I think we got it down now. Put that there. Now it sits flush. Alright, sorry about that. I needed my other hand to start this. So I didn't read how tight it has to go, but this is the nut that goes on as well to keep it from backtracking. Now, you don't want to go too tight to where it bends or breaks that. I think we're gonna keep it there for now. It might be too tight, but now I gotta do this side. Same thing. I'm just gonna cut it and then I'll get back on the video when I'm doing the second or middle cover. Oh, that's about how it's gonna look. Right there, it's grabbed onto the metal. So you can see, I could retract it so it's right up against it, but it's a little slanted like that. That's how it ends up being. Same with that one. It doesn't say how much to tighten it, so just go as tight as you feel is necessary without breaking it. Now let's get the next one installed. Bring these like this. This I imagine are gonna be similar. So let me get the tools ready. Yes, the instructions aren't so clear on how these clips go, but they tell you connect the provided rear clamps to the T-bar on the cover as shown in the figure. And as you can see right there, but if you notice, it does have a little part here where the screw can screw on, or you can just run it through here and nothing grabs on. So what I did, this may or may not be the proper way, but I adjusted that screw portion. So I put it down. I had to adjust it so it faces the screw there. And that seems like it's gonna grab on. But look at the lip here. This lip is not big enough to grab onto the metal. So once again, I'm gonna have to cut the plastic here. Not sure if that's... The instructions don't say you have to trim anything. I'm just trimming because that's the only way it's gonna grab onto the metal. But yeah, let me trim that up and we'll keep going with this install. It does tell you to install it while it's up here, but I've been closing it just to get a good spot for it. But let me trim it before we continue. So I'm gonna try and record this part completely for you guys. So let me get this off of there. And what I'm gonna do is align these so I can screw this on. So that's about where we'll start. So in this position, it's unlocked. What locks it is when you go like this. That position is locked, and then it has this little push pin that goes through there, so it keeps it locked. So let's unlock it. So that's about where we need it. We'll lock it in place. I'll use my... If I didn't have these, I would probably use a marker to mark where I'm gonna cut the plastic. There and about there. So I'll unlock it again. I got my 2 marks there. Hopefully you guys can see it. If not, my bad. So you only need a cut up until the metal lip starts, and it hits there. So that's one cut. And there will be my second cut. Move this around. Let's give this a try. And that seems about right, but I want it a little tighter, so scoot it away from it. Give it a few spins. And then this one, the pin, you want it going towards the cab, towards the front of the truck, because when you pull it from back here, it's going to be a little harder because you can't see it. So, just like that. And then when you unlock it, let's say we want to remove the cover, unlock, bring this here, and it has a little tilt part here that you can do this so it goes flat. And this one will probably just be hanging unless it lets you put it in there. But while it's installed. That's how it'll be. Not bad. We lucked out on this one. If you can see here, the metal lip actually comes down quite a bit here. So we don't even have to cut for this one. This one does get a lot of the metal lip, so we don't have to cut. It gets part of the plastic, but more than half of it is metal, and it grabs on pretty good. Same with this side. The metal lip comes down far enough, and let me adjust it for you guys. So I got it on there. Now we just have to twist it until we're happy with how high it is to climb. And I think it went too high there. So let's unscrew it a little bit. That's about the height. You want it kind of tight on this one. And we have it down. So let me climb out of here. Whew. I should have considered cleaning the bed before doing this, but I feel like it grabbed on fairly well. Little imperfections here and there, but that's just from shipping. Feels like it shuts pretty good. All around. Has that spongy rubber to make a pretty good seal on it. So it overhangs here a little bit, but if I was to push this backwards, it was gonna hang out too much over here. So I prefer it to be just flush like it is here where it rounds, than for it to be hanging out. Oh look, a little spider. Where did you come from? And pretty good seal all around. Is it waterproof? Let's hope so. So in the front, it also has a little rubber to kind of help with the waterproofing. So good thing I chose to put that little seal more towards the end. These are where those hooks go. Pretty plastic. These will for sure dry out. But it's alright. I don't plan on tying it up. Let's see if one of those is included as the spare parts. And let's check out the spare parts. So yeah, this is one of those. And it comes with the hardware to bolt it down if it does dry out. They only send you one. It's plastic. This is for this part where it goes in. These are actually pretty easy to find. You could even find some metal ones of these. They send you one of these. This is what ties it down. Another one of these. So if something breaks, at least they thought about sending you some type of spare parts. And yeah, this is how it looks. I imagine they're all about the same. The better they are, they probably have better hardware. I know the Mopar version of this is over $1,200, which I wasn't gonna spend. This is just because we're going on a trip in less than 2 weeks, and I want all the luggage back here and this is the best way to keep your luggage out of the sun and out of sight. It does lock because you'll lock your tailgate, and there's no way to open this unless you open the tailgate and go from underneath. Overall, I feel like it looks pretty good in my opinion. I have on Amazon Prime, so it was delivered within a day or two, but I didn't have a chance until today to get it on there. It's been hot. Today's a pretty windy day, good weather, and yeah, so hopefully this video helps you guys. I will be doing a little bit more content on the Jeep Gladiator. It's a little dirty. I do have another video I have to make about it, about some seat covers. Mine's are cloth, but I'll upload this one and the other one should follow. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys.